We shoot up, we and figure Canada G. Make them have a experience, no gravity. Tell a pussy when I laugh up, when I take that. Violate people are dead dog. Should I keep in your bed, cause the Taliban's them I make work. When I laugh up, when I take that. Badness is where we end up. When I shoot people, they end up in a red grass. No Taliban's like them, we are sure guns. Make you not sleep at your yard in a 4 months. So we make people a more now. Like y'all get fucked down a whole house.
watching a live broadcast of the Lagos Boat Regatta 2024 holding in Lagos, Nigeria. And you're watching Channels Television, reaching you from Lagos. We continue with our usual programming for the day. Please stay with us.
bust in my way. This kind of body done they cause you migraine. And when we leave, if we do, I'm your way. Or if you want, if you do, I'm my way. I wait, 2 shot, I don't take. You tell me, and I know they go out one day. I know they care, say they buy my damn pray. Money on me mind outside. This kind love, yeah, where they make me want more. Whoa, come my way. Oh. This kind love, yeah, I the one for the night. Make I know how you feel, how you want to. Lady, girl, say your body back to me. Fast make a joke, make a feel long. Baby girl, you know I see you. Yeah, with the love to the morning. Bad girl addicted to me. Only you know how see they do me. Only you know how see they do me. Oh, oh yeah. Yeah, get. You my get. Casamigo. From Miami. Big fight. Ioni bele yankaba. 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 Yeah.
Magic be into suya. Yeah, I've been hard for like 4 years, and I wonder if I'm done yet. People be like, rise for my concert. Welcome, welcome the new convert. In a week with a convert. Would you say more raise me? Tell them we go do I'm on failing. Yeah, sick about that AMD, so it's 3 bad boys with V8 engines. You know the best in me. You want to lose, bet against me. Be flares in me. To the enemy.
Shana follow me to shut down show, but she don't want me to just sleep. I know.
I'm unavailable. They know they see me. 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 I'm sorry for who won't be my matter. Sorry, I'm only human. So make nobody para. Like say I carry woman. She na man way I for carry. Fuck all the rumors. I be dead when I talk say I be pastor. If you know you it can walk. If it's not I got talk. Call Nico, I did me I did for the day, girl, I'm unavailable. They know they see me. I'm unavailable. They know they see me. I'm unavailable. They know they see me. I'm unavailable. They know they see me.
Getting my life, I don't have no time, Shania. Come see me shining, got too many birds on my IG. Changing my life, oh, I'm a mama proud in it. She got me going, this fentanyl on my freedom, cause I'm fit for better. Straight to the woods, I can't go jealous, got a big button, I'm fit for better. Straight to the woods, I can't go jealous, got a big button, cause I'm fit for better. Straight to the woods, I can't go jealous.
Welcome back from the live telecast. We'll now continue with our regular programs. Stay tuned.
I'm Miriam Lunge, passionate environment advocate.
Thank you for staying with us on The World Now. To avert what will be the first federal government shutdown since 2019, the U.S. Senate has voted to pass the nation's budgetary plan. The passage of the budget came only hours after the lower House of Representatives approved to find a common ground.
Well, thank you for the question. Typically they do these things at the end. They always come to a resolution and pass the budget, and we keep going. It's one of those drama you expect in every congressional, end of term, because the new term begins in January, and obviously with the president-elect having some influence on the Republican side of things, there was a push and pull kind of thing, and the Democrats wanted to, do their thing so that maybe, Trump will have some negative stuff on him. But usually, those of us who live here, we don't panic. We just look at it and say, here comes another, chicken and the cat and the mouse kind of game that they play.
Mm. And isn't this significant? Because, Donald Trump says the House is to pass this bill that gets rid of the debt ceiling, and the Republicans themselves did not follow through with this. Doesn't this serve as a significant blow to what the Donald Trump administration will be, and perhaps a warning sign to him that he may not have the full support of Republicans in the upcoming administration?
Well, any of those things, is possible. But remember, he's still president-elect. This is Joe Biden's last month in office. And so when Trump, the bill that they just passed, is going to last till March next year. And then from there, Trump, inherits this ship of state and then begin to make his own rules. And at that time, the Republicans, will decide how they're going to support him for the first important legislation on spending that he's going to sign off on.
Mm. And it's not actually new for the House to have a back and forth on government spending. We also said that the last time there was a shutdown was in 2018, December and January 2019, which lasted for about 35 days, and that was a Trump term. But what is new at this point is the presence of an external force, an unelected citizens who some say is exerting a considerable influence and apparent sway with Trump. This is raising questions. I'm talking about Elon Musk here. Is this what Americans should expect in the next 4 years?
Another good question. I don't know. Of course, Musk is going to have influence. And then, some Republicans, remember in the first 2 years of the next president, we're going to have a midterm. And then he's saying if you don't go along with what the president wants or what they want, because what they want to do with the budget is to trim a lot of the things that they think is unnecessary so that we can have an efficient government and a very lean kind of government. So some Republicans or even some Democrats are going to be concerned because in the midterm, if this guy were to put his resources behind a candidate who voted against what they think they want, that person may lose. Because, what politicians always want is to win an election and win another election until they come to terms with something that may likely make them lose the election, and then they start to behave in a way that the people actually want. So I don't know what's going to happen, but Musk is going to have some influence. Whether that influence is going to be curtailed, remember, again, he's just somebody that is going to serve on the Department of Government Efficiency. Congress still have to, well, one of those things, of course, the war, Russia and Ukraine, are we going to still be supporting Ukraine and so many other items that are in the budget? I think there's the congressional people want to give themselves a raise. The American budget, one thing, is very big. It's just too big. And because of that, there are things people do, and then they have this bill in front of members. They don't even read the bill. I mean, how can anybody read 1,500? That is 1,500 pages of a bill, understand it, there's to go vote on it. So usually they put this in front of them, and then, this just becomes, okay, you vote for your side, I vote for my side, or we go back and forth and see the things we don't like and see if we can remove it. So it's because of the size of the budget, not necessarily that it's going to cripple the government. It's just too big, and there are what we call the pork aspect of our budget, where things get passed, and at the end of the day, the taxpayers end up paying for it. The American taxpayers always ending up with items that they don't want, and that's what we say. We want to lower our taxes, and the way we lower our taxes is to cut out inefficiency in our government and only focus on those items that are necessary. The rest of it should be done by the people, and that is when you have more money in your pocket, then you do more for your country, as opposed to when the government have more money of yours and they do inefficient things that doesn't really benefit you.
And we've seen a level of disagreement in the U.S. Congress in the past few months. How can bipartisan cooperation be fostered in Congress to address major issues like this funding, budget? And now what strategies should be employed to ensure that there is a level of trust and consensus among the lawmakers in a situation where both parties can actually coexist, irrespective of the ruling party?
Well, regardless of, the public perception that there's a dysfunction, of course, there's a level of dysfunction, but sometimes they work and they literally collaborate and get things done. It's just that those items that they disagree on, becomes a public specter and where they all, start accusing each other, pointing fingers. But all in all, our Congress is still getting the job done. But we just want to be able to have a measure of control on what they do and how they spend our money. The Ways and Means is the most powerful committee in Congress, because they're the ones that decide how much money we get and how much money we spend. So, going forward, of course, there's always going to be this push and pull. It's not new. The history of America has always been that contentious. debate on both sides because, again, some people want to go this way, some people want to go the other way. At the end, they're going to come in what's it called, the middle ground. That's a compromise. The politics is about compromise. It's not a dictatorship. It's not having a powerful speaker. Our speaker, the Speaker of the House, is not supposed to be powerful. It's supposed to be like a cattleman, herding the animal, go this way, go that way. The powerful people in the House are the chair of the committees, and those who are, the appropriators. That is those who decide what goes in to be appropriated and be funded by the government. So bipartisanship exists, but some things, there's a disagreement. You look at, for instance, immigration. Some years ago, the Democrats said, every illegal immigrant has to, get out, and then they flipped, and now they support illegal immigration, and then the Republican Party said, heck no. So it depends on the flavor, if you want to use that word, the flavor of the moment, and what they think is going to get them more votes. So remember, this is all about vote gathering and influencing some people. Whatever that, is relevant for the American strength and survival, which is our military, our public safety, health, when it comes to senior citizens, social security, those things are always going to get, contentious debate, but at the end of the day, it's going to pass.
All right. Thank you very much for your insight on the world now. Global Affairs Analyst Ejike Opa in Texas. Thank you for joining us on the world now.
Thank you for having me.
Back here in Africa, the Chief of the Armed Forces and several other top military officers have been replaced by the President of the Democratic Republic of Congo in a major reshuffle. This comes amid the ongoing fight against rebels in the country's eastern region. The Chief of General Staff of the Armed Forces was replaced by Lieutenant General Jules Banza. The Democratic Republic of Congo's military has been fighting more than 100 groups, including the M23 rebel group, for years in the mineral-rich eastern region. The rebels are vying for a foothold in a conflict that has created one of the world's largest humanitarian crises. And while the United Nations Security Council has extended the mandate for UN peacekeeping mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo for another year, the government of DR Congo has previously pushed for the force to leave, but a note to the Security Council by the mission to the United Nations indicates the troubled nation asks for operations to be renewed. The renewal means that about 11,000 peacekeepers will continue their deployment until at least December 2025. And still on the United States, the UN Food Agency says more than 40 million people are struggling to feed themselves across West and Central Africa, with that number set to rise to 52 million by the middle of next year. According to a new report released, the World Food Programme says 3.4 million people are currently facing emergency levels of hunger in the region, representing a 70% increase. The report said conflict, displacement, economic instability, and severe climate shocks are aggravating food insecurity. The ongoing conflict in the Sahel, as well as the Sudanese civil war, have displaced over 10 million people across the region. Massive flooding in Nigerian Chad early this year also reportedly worsened the situation. Although the numbers are staggering, the new report reduces last year's estimate of the number of people facing food insecurity by 7.7 million. But that's it on the world now. For more updates on the stories and monitoring, you can visit our website on www.tvcnews.tv. You can also follow us on our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and on X at TVC News NG. And YouTube, we are live at TVC News Nigeria. Thanks for watching.
Information is power, information is security, information is knowledge. On Labor Lens, we believe that working people around the world have real questions of their own. They want to know how the world of work operates, what it means to the employer of labor, how policies affect workers in the workplace. On Labor Lens, I ensure we engage effectively the organized labor, organized private sector, and government to get out of them information workers are in need of. I am Sharon Ijason, asking questions that make you get sense of the workplace.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Welcome to Warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an Hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of Your View are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
Experience information and entertainment like never before as TVC Breakfast takes your weekends to a whole new level. Introducing TVC Breakfast Weekend Edition, your ultimate source of thrilling sports updates, insightful political analysis, and captivating entertainment news. Stay in the know with what's trending, catch up with the latest in sports, and immerse yourself in the latest buzz from the world of music and movies. Your weekends are no longer just days off, but moments packed with knowledge, excitement, and enjoyment. TVC Breakfast Weekend Edition, only on TVC News.
TVC News Weekend Lineup. TVC Breakfast Saturday with Kemi Fola Adeyemo and Emmanuel Ajayi. Political Standpoint with Precious Amayo. Newsweek with Mark Otabo. Politics on Sunday with Femi Akonde. Community Forum with Sarah Yeku. Get ready for the biggest stories, fresh perspectives, and burning news discussions that round up the weekend. Only on TVC News.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking it.
And now, let's join ace broadcaster Mamode Akuga as he takes us inside the Niger Delta.
Hello out there and welcome to the program. It's Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Niger's oil-rich region. I'm your regular host, Mamode Akuga. The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, Dr. Samuel Ubuku, says to boost interstate transportation and improve socio-economic activities in the oil-rich region, the Commission is currently remobilizing contractors to recommence work on some of its abandoned projects. Dr. Ubuku made this known last week during the inspection of the abandoned Ka Ataba Bridge in Andoni local government area of River State and the Nsasak Junction Akon Road and Bridge in Akwa Ibom State, as well as the ongoing emergency reconstruction of the Oyibo Road network in River State.
With a fresh sense of urgency, Managing Director and CEO Dr. Samuel Ubuku, alongside other top officials in the Commission, embarked on a tour last week to inspect some of the abandoned projects that have been identified for immediate attention. Some of the projects inspected include the 1.2-kilometer Ka-Ataba Bridge and road project in River State. The bridge, which is the longest in the state and one of the longest in the entire region, will connect Kana and Andoni local government areas, while also serving as an alternative route to Bonny Island.
It is an ambitious project by the NDDC, and for the fact that this bridge is standing, we want to complete it now for the benefit of the people of the Niger Delta. Because once this bridge is completed, it will also link to Ataba and also the Bonny Island too. So it also gives, multiple gateway to Bonny. Apart from the Bonny-Bodo Expressway axis, you can also access Bonny through this angle. So I think we are very, very much willing and prepared to complete this.
The paramount ruler of Ataba Kingdom, Andoni local government area, His Majesty King Dr. Benson Egwere Uruk, who spoke on behalf of the people, commended the NDDC for taking significant steps towards completing the long-awaited Ka-Ataba Bridge.
It's a project that is very dear to our hearts. So this will be a very big relief in terms of economic activities, social activities, a lot. We expect a lot of benefits from this road when completed. And we make sure that we tell our youth not to disturb any contractor at all when on site. So that cooperation is already there.
Other project sites visited include the 30-kilometer Nsasak Junction Akon Road and Bridge in Akwa Ibom State, designed to link several communities in the state to neighboring Abia State. Also inspected was the ongoing emergency reconstruction of the Oyibo Road network in River State, which runs through communities such as Obonko, Umuosi, Obeako, Mboji, and Ndoki in Oyibo local government area.
It is a 7 kilometers road project to complement what the River State government did earlier. The River State government did this road from Obibo that terminated somewhere just behind us, and we have to take it to the other remaining 5 communities ahead, which terminated at Ndoki area in River State. And this road also links you up to Abia State, which makes it more of a regional road connecting 2 states. So it's a 7-kilometer road that links about 5 communities.
The current leadership of the NDDC is no doubt showing strong determination to continue transforming the region by completing long-abandoned projects out of the 13,000 projects revealed in the 2021 Forensic Audit Report. This move aligns with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's vision to transform the oil-rich Niger Delta and improve the quality of life of its peoples.
Inside the Niger Delta.
The governments of Bayelsa and River States have pledged to collaborate in tackling the persistent vandalism of power infrastructure by hoodlums along the Ahoda-Yenagoa axis, a situation that has left several communities in both states without electricity for extended periods of time. This agreement, which was reached last week in Port Harcourt during a joint meeting between the Bayelsa State Acting Governor Senator Lawrence Erujakbo and the River State Deputy Governor Professor Ngozi Odu at Government House in Port Harcourt.
As part of measures to provide a lasting solution to this recurring problem that is disrupting socio-economic activities of the people, Acting Governor of Bayelsa State, Senator Lawrence Erujakbo, led a delegation to meet with the River State government on how to collaborate in tackling the challenge.
The lines between Bayelsa and Ahoda have been vandalized almost 3 times. And we felt that he who wears the shoes knows where it pinches. So we try to take it upon ourselves to make sure that we fix the line. So we have discovered that what we need to do is to have a team that provides surveillance for these facilities so that it will not be easily vandalized again.
River State Deputy Governor Professor Ngozi Odu, who received and hosted the delegation from their sister state, supported the proposed initiative to jointly tackle the persistent vandalism of transmission facilities along the Ahoda-Yenagoa corridor.
I'm really excited that both sides of the coin are actually acting towards one direction. So I believe that at the end of the meeting today, we're going to have a clear direction of what we need to do that would actually mitigate the problems we have. Because you don't leave your problems or sweep them under the carpet. If you sweep them under, they remain there.
After deliberations, Bayelsa State Commissioner for Information, Ebiowu Koku Obiaye, revealed that both states had come to a joint resolution to establish anti-vandalism task force. She added that the task force will work collaboratively to safeguard power assets and ensure the restoration of stable electricity in both states. In another development, the acting governor of Bayelsa State, Senator Lawrence Erujakpo, last week, during the launching of the emblem for the 2025 Armed Forces Remembrance Day at Creek Heaven, reaffirmed the state government's commitment to the welfare of serving and retired military personnel, as well as the families of fallen heroes, in recognition of their invaluable contributions to peace, security, and development of the state and the country as a whole.
We can assure you that the shoulders of the Bayelsa State government is there for both the serving and the retired people to rest on. On this very solemn and profound and remarkable occasion, the governor and the good rule of Bayelsa State owe you a lot of gratitude.
Inside the Niger Delta.
The Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Presidential Compressed National Gas Initiative, PCNGI, to facilitate the implementation of the CNG policy in the Niger Delta region. NDDC's Managing Director, Samuel Obuku, who signed the MOU at his corporate headquarters last week, said the initiative will not only reduce energy costs for the people of the oil-rich region, but also open up countless opportunities for the teeming young population in the region.
As part of its partnership initiative, which encourages collaborations with government and private entities for regional development, the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, last week signed a memorandum of understanding with the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, PCNGI. This agreement, which was signed at the Commission's corporate headquarters in Port Harcourt, aims to accelerate the establishment of CNG conversion and training centers across the oil-rich Niger Delta region, while also supporting the federal government's efforts to mitigate the impact of fuel subsidy removal on the people in the region. After the brief ceremony, the Managing Director of the Commission, Dr. Samuel Obuku, and other management team members of the NDDC joined the PCNGI delegation led by its Program Director, Engineer Michael Oluwagbemi, to inaugurate a CNG conversion and training center located at Rumokuta in the Garden City of Port Harcourt.
And open this place for business.
Speaking to journalists at the ceremony, the NDDC Chief Executive Officer commended President Bola Tinubu for championing the initiative. He then gave the commitment of the Commission to supporting the program in the oil-rich region, which he noted would promote financial independence and create sustainable employment opportunities for the region's teeming young population. Obuku was optimistic that with these initiatives and similar others in the pipeline, the Niger Delta would soon become Nigeria's hub for CNG technicians.
In NDDC, we also want to establish training facilities that will also train youths on conversion to CNG, because with the energy transition, we want our people to take advantage of this energy transition, so that the more youths we train, and the more facilities of such we open, we can now make most of our youths to be financially independent.
For his part, Engineer Oluwagbemi understood
236 units available for sale with a starting price of 100 million naira. Lock down a unit today with a down payment of 20% and spread the balance over the next 24 months. Contact us on 080-693-47063 or 091-22-656-975.
It's a project that will bring huge return on investment.
Twin Towers from foundation to skyline.
Ezekiel Group, oil and gas, dredging, power and air transportation. Ezekiel Group, petroleum product sufficiency, energy sustainability and infrastructure development.
Right Honorable Sharif Oborewori of Delta State has called on the people of the state to extend their support to the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led federal government, just as they have been supporting his administration at the state level. Governor Oborewori, who was speaking recently at an event organized by the Urobo Progress Union, UPU, emphasized that despite belonging to different political parties, both administrations were elected by the people with the shared mandate of delivering the dividends of democracy. The governor further noted that once an administration is elected into office, the people, regardless of their political affiliations, must support it in order to succeed.
Since the return of civilian rule in Nigeria in 1999, Delta State has been under the control of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Chief James Onanefe Ibori became the first governor serving 2 tenures before handing over to his cousin, Dr. Emmanuel Uduaghan, in 2007. Dr. Uduaghan passed the baton to another PDP governor, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, in 2015 after his own 2 tenures in office, even after the party lost to the opposition All Progressive Congress, APC, at the national level. Continuing on this trajectory, Dr. Okowa handed over to another party member in 2023, Right Honorable Sharif Oborewori, who now flies the flag of the party and is maintaining its legacy in the oil-rich state. Governor Oborewori, who has only been in the saddle for just about 19 months, is already breaking new grounds in infrastructure development and social programs that are changing the fortunes of the peoples across the nooks and crannies of the state. The governor, who was addressing his Urobo kingsmen at their 93rd annual day celebrations held recently at Uwiamuge Agbaru in Ugeli North local government area of the state, acknowledged his cordial working relationship with the APC-led federal government, which he said had been instrumental to his achievement so far, and appealed to the people to continue to give their support to the federal government just as they have been supporting his administration in the state.
Mr. President, as you see, is supporting this administration. God has made him the president as God has made me the governor. So as you are supporting me, support him. Because if he fail, I will fail. But he will not fail, I will not fail.
Governor Oborewori, who also noted that though some members of the opposition party in the state may not be completely in tune with his policies and programs, he however remains committed to leading a government of tolerance, peace and unity for the betterment of all and sundry in the oil-rich state.
As individuals, we may have our political differences, but we must nevertheless stand resolute in ensuring that the interests of our people, the state, and the nation come first in all our actions and our utterances. I believe that we can disagree without being disagreeable and learn to separate politics from governance.
The Urobo Progress Union, UPU, the apex socio-cultural organization of the Urobo Nation, inducted Governor Oborewori into its Hall of Fame at the 93rd Urobo National Day celebration and grand reception in his honor. He was also conferred with the prestigious title of Omorotomo of Urobo land, meaning an illustrious son of Urobo Nation, by the Urobo Council of Traditional Rulers, led by the Ovie of Uwe Kingdom, His Royal Majesty Emmanuel Sideso Abe I.
Governor of Delta State, Omorotomo of Urobo Nation.
Inside the Niger Delta.
As the cleanup of oil-polluted sites in the Niger Delta slowly drags on, environmental advocates and affected communities are intensifying their calls for urgent and comprehensive actions to speed up the process. They are demanding not only an acceleration of the cleanup process, but also a region-wide remediation plan that will restore the already damaged ecosystem and improve the harsh living conditions caused by decades of crude oil exploration and exploitation activities. The call is getting louder as oil spills persist in more communities, compounding the already severe environmental degradation in the resource-rich but deeply impacted Niger Delta region.
The environmental degradation from over 60 years of oil exploration in the Niger Delta stands as one of the most severe cases globally, impacting daily lives for residents who struggle to endure its consequences. A simple online search will show the region's status as one of the world's most polluted areas, with disturbing images highlighting decades of neglect and environmental injustice. Despite this situation, unsustainable crude oil extraction activities persist in the region with little regard for its implication on the people and their livelihoods. International oil companies who are in partnership with the federal government through the NNPCL joint venture keep smiling to the bank.
It's a fundamental problem in the Niger Delta, where day in, day out, there are spillages that are not made by any person within the community as a victim. But these are out of sheer negligence, poor professionalism exhibited by Shell and other multinationals. The situation is that gory and it's terrible.
After years of Ogoni community's outcry, the federal government in 2006 finally reached out to the United Nations Environmental Program, UNEP, to assess the impact of crude oil extraction in Ogoni land. The findings released in 2011 documented the severe environmental damage and sufferings endured by the Ogoni people and by extension the Niger Delta people. In response, the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project, HYPREP, was launched in 2016 to superintend over cleanup and restoration of the damaged ecosystem in Ogoni land, with plans to eventually expand the project to other polluted Niger Delta communities. Nearly 8 years later, the progress of the exercise has been rather slow, with countless other communities continuing to grapple with the harsh realities of unchecked pollution. Environmental rights advocates like Dr. Nimo Bassi and Dumnamene Fineface are pushing for not only a comprehensive cleanup across the entire Niger Delta, but also for accountability from international oil companies.
The entire Niger Delta is polluted, and the pollution is beyond what people are thinking about. And it will take over 50 years from now to clean up the Niger Delta. That is even if there is no new pollution being introduced to the environment. But what we currently have is a disheartening situation. Livelihoods are being lost. Fishermen and farmers are unable to fish. They are unable to really plant and get anything good out of the soil.
When we had only one Gulf of Guinea oil spill in the U.S., one oil spill, over $60 billion has been spent on it to pay compensation, to do cleanup and the rest. One oil spill. And we're talking about a state or a region that is continuously contaminated by oil spills. And when you talk about $1 billion for going cleanup, $1 billion is chicken feed. If you really want to look at what needs to be done. And in these days of divestment, those who want to divest must show that they've made available the resources needed to clean up the entire Niger Delta. Otherwise, the divestment is a scam.
The Senate Committee on Oil and Gas Host Communities echoed the need for a region-wide cleanup during its recent tour of the sites currently undergoing remediation by HYPREP.
We shouldn't wait for 10, 20 years to do remediation. We expect that any time of pollution, there must be immediate attention to that place, so that it will not cause so much damage to the environment before we do the remediation. So, as a matter of fact, what is internationally accepted as the best practice is for pollution to be taken care of immediately. The pollution is going seen.
Advocates argue that as long as oil companies continue to operate in the country, incidents of oil spills are likely to occur, often due to outdated infrastructure and mechanical faults. They therefore see the need for a framework that ensures that these operators uphold globally accepted standards in their operations to prevent further environmental damage.
Inside the Niger Delta.
The Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, last week presented awards to 227 staff members in a special ceremony to honor their long-standing dedication and service to the development of the oil-rich Niger Delta region. Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the NDDC, Dr. Samuel Ubuku, who personally gave out some of the awards, noted that the initiative was aimed at motivating and encouraging staff to maintain excellence and dedication in fulfilling their duties and responsibilities.
Last week, the Commission took a moment to commend its staff for their invaluable efforts, recognizing their dedication as a key force in enabling its service delivery across the largely underdeveloped communities in the region.
For whatever some of us came to inherit, for the fact that this commission is still standing, it is as a result of your contribution to the service to this commission. And I believe you deserve every honor and award that should be given to you. We as a management chose to also not only to honor you with this award, but just ensure that whatever your entitlements are, they are also paid to you.
This recognition, once an annual tradition, had been discontinued along the way. However, this year, the current leadership deemed it wise to reintroduce the ceremony to boost staff morale and acknowledge their vital contributions to the policies, programs and projects of the Commission. This time around, 227 staff members were celebrated for their dedication. Among them, 55 received awards for 30 years of service, 136 for 20 years, 30 for 15 years and 6 for 10 years of service. Recipients across various award categories, including directors, thanked the Commission for the recognition.
On behalf of the 20 years awardees, say thank you, and that you should not relent on what you do. We've not had this good for a long time. I would want to say thank you. You continue to do your best for the Commission.
We want to say we have been honored deeply and profoundly grateful to the management for this recognition of the 30 years of service in the Commission. This is an inspiration to us, for all of us to continue to do our best in the service of the Commission.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Well, that's the size of our package on the program for today. Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region, will be back same time, same station next week. Till then, you can follow us on our social media handles showing right now on your screens. And please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at NDNTV Nigeria. Until next week, I am Mamode Akuga wishing you a Merry Xmas and a Happy New Year in advance. Bye for now.
When Nigeria's unity was at stake after a devastating civil war, National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) was formed in 1973 to foster national cohesion. More than 50 years after, the scheme continues to serve the purpose through mobilization of Nigerian graduates below the age of 30 for the one-year compulsory national service. Watch NYSC Half Hour, a weekly program showcasing activities of the scheme and exploits of Youth Corps members nationwide. On TVC News every Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Soon coming.
They swore an oath to serve our fatherland and defend the people. They traded their freedom, comfortable homes and mortgaged their lives on the battleground for our unity and peaceful living. These are the great, loyal and committed Nigerian armed forces who risked their lives courageously to safeguard our borders. But in the line of duty, many never returned. Nigerians, arise, let's celebrate our fallen heroes. Put on the remembrance emblem to support the incapacitated and families of our fallen heroes.
Thank you for your patriotic commitment
to Nigerian unity, stability, and progress.
Parastatals, religious and corporate bodies to donate generously to the Emblem Appeal Launch. Send your donations to these accounts. Account name, Emblem Appeal Launch. Account number 393-200-7526. EcoBank Nigeria PLC.
Wherever you see destruction, it's because God is absent. There is no destruction in God. So who started killing from Genesis? Satan. Jesus exposed him. The thief cometh not, but for to steal, to kill, and to destroy. But I am come that you may have life and have it how much? More abundant. I prophesy as your amen is coming like thunder. Whatever is yours, receive it now.
Ignorance is the mother of personal destruction, a voluntary misfortune, and it is worse when you are ignorant of your ignorance.
You and Your Health with Dr. Richard Okoye is brought to you by Dr. Civil Life Foundation as he uncovers the mystery behind most deadly diseases, their causes, prevention, and latest treatment. Sending your comment and health-related questions. Together, let's liberate Africa from health ignorance.
Hear this, you are ignorantly awaiting the arrival of your wife's menopause. If you have low sperm count and ignore it.
Join Dr. Richard Okoye every Sunday by 3:30 p.m.
Meet Benga Oreshegu, a fearless voice and an advocate for the truth. He's bringing fresh energy and bold insights to Journalists Hangout.
Get ready for deeper analysis and dynamic perspectives. Join me and Babajide Kolade Otitoju with other veteran journalists on Journalists Hangout. Weekdays from 5 p.m. and on Sundays 1:30 p.m.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking it.
Every major news story is with many perspectives.
Hello, thanks for joining us on TVC News at 4. We're monitoring developments in the nation's capital, where the police have confirmed the death of 10 persons following a stampede at a church in Abuja. The incident happened at about 6:30 a.m. this morning when people gathered for the distribution of food items to vulnerable and elderly individuals. 8 other persons sustained injuries in the incident. The FCT Police Command is calling for stricter adherence to event notification guidelines, which means that all organizations, religious groups, and individuals must notify the police in advance before hosting public events. Now, a similar incident occurred in Anambra State, where many persons have died in Okija, Ihiala local government area. TVC News gathered that the victims and many others were at the venue to receive palliatives, resulting in a stampede. Lawmaker representing Ihiala Constituency 2 in the State House of Assembly, Golden Ilo, confirmed the unfortunate incident. He also mentioned that the organizer's aim was to assist his people with food items for the Yuletide. And President Bola Tinubu has cancelled all his official events in Lagos State today to honor victims of stampede in Abuja and Okija, Anambra State. President Tinubu was scheduled to watch the boat parade and other activities of the boat regatta from the waterfront of his Queen's Drive residence in Ikoyi. President Tinubu wants states and relevant authorities to enforce strict crowd control measures immediately. He described the event as very disturbing, emphasizing that local and state authorities should no longer tolerate operational lapses by organizations and corporate bodies involved in charitable and humanitarian activities. Let's now turn our attention to Oyo State, where a devastating fire has razed a spare parts market in Agodi Gate 1, destroying goods worth millions of naira. An eyewitness confirmed to TVC News that the inferno started around 12 a.m. and has left traders and residents in a state of shock and despair. According to him, the fire service arrived at the scene around 4 a.m. and several hours after the fire had started. The cause of the fire is yet to be ascertained, but it is believed to have started from one of the shops in the market. The destruction caused by the fire is estimated in millions of naira, with many traders losing their livelihoods. The market, which is one of the largest spare parts markets in Nigeria, is a major hub for traders and mechanics. As President of Dangote Industries Limited, Aliko Dangote, has commended President Bola Tinubu for the positive impact of the Naira for crude swap deal on the Nigerian economy. He says the initiative led to reduction in prices of petroleum products in the country. In his statement, he called on other oil marketers to work with the organization to ensure that Nigerians enjoy high-quality petrol at discounted prices. He assured that Dangote Refinery will continue to work with various value chain players to deliver high-quality petrol at cheaper prices. And to Imo State, where the state chapter of Independent Petroleum Marketers has assured residents of the state of availability of petroleum products before, during, and after the Christmas and New Year festivities. Chairman of the association, Chidi Eberu Kafo, expressed optimism of better days ahead in the oil and gas sector.
As we speak today, there's product everywhere. Virtually all the petrol stations in Imo State are busy selling. We have product to give to Imolites. Even there are people, we know that our people are coming back from all over the world. The beauty of the regulation is prices, competition, and all that. So 2025 is going to be a good year. I believe that with what the government is doing, freeing the markets, it's going to be a good year.
Through this amiable association, for the past 1 year, 5 months that I've been brigade commander, there was no single day that Imo State has witnessed scarcity of product. Equally, I have never had any case of adulteration of products. We are going to continue to partner with this association so that products will continue to be available. Our only major concern is the cost.
The federal government has assured that the ongoing construction of the first 20 kilometers of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway will be inaugurated by May 2025. We have details in this report.
Operations are in top gear on the Lagos Coastal Highway in preparations for the inauguration of the first phase by May 2025.
If our roads were constructed like this, we would not...
The Minister of Works, David Umahi, while inspecting the road, said the contractor is doing his best to meet the deadline.
They are bringing in another equipment that is going to assist us, and that's why we've slashed the completion into 2 phases. The section 1 will be commissioning the first 20 kilometers before the end of May, even though another 10 kilometers would have been done at the end of the job. But continuously we have 20 kilometers to commission, and we will have the route continuously, some fields totally, waiting settlement, and of course the completion of the remaining 27 kilometers minus 10, another 17 kilometers before the end of next year, God willing.
This is one of the key projects of President Tinubu to ensure that Nigerians experience a smooth ride and ensure safety on the roads.
Other routes we are going to give adequate attention is the Kano, Katsina, the Malando route in Kebbi. We also have the Northern Bypass. We're going to give some of these projects a very big push. So we've decided to concentrate about 5 projects per zone.
The community should know that the alignment is for the improvement of this project, and it's even for their safety, because engineering is all about safety and economy. You see, when we realign this, the community will not know the value now, but later their unborn children will even pray for federal government. They will pray for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for improvement on this road.
While the entire 47 kilometers highway is divided into 5 sections, the minister hopes that this project is finished before the end of next year. Inioluwa Popola, TVC News, Lagos.
The Nasarawa State House of Assembly has passed into law the total sum of 402.5 billion naira as a budget for the 2025 fiscal year. Governor of Nasarawa State, Abdullahi Sule, had presented a budget proposal of 382.5 billion naira to this House of Assembly for consideration. The Speaker of the House, Danladi Jatau, explained that the addition of 20 billion naira was due to the current inflation in the market and the importance of some items in the budget.
Bill for a law to issue out of the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the state of the sum of 402,567,843,592 naira 3 kobo, all in, for the services of National State Government for the period of 12 months commencing from 1st January 2025 and ending 31st December 2025. Third reading and pass.
You're watching TVC News at 4. We'll take a break now and return with more stories in a moment. Stay with us.
Sometimes it's the story that calls. At other times, the people just want to be heard.
School, I need students, but I need teachers.
Can't continue like this. Their voices re-echoing through time itself.
We haven't done anything. If the tide is high, everybody run for safety.
Their tears leave a sweet, sour taste for all their demands. A familiar call beckoning for change. In our world, no one expects a disaster to happen. But when it does, we'll be there to x-ray all sides, from the east to the west, north and south. Committee Forum will examine the oddities and challenges to economic development, as well as issues yearning for government intervention. Watch fresh episodes of Community Forum on Sundays by 9:30 p.m. only on TVC News.
Every major news story is with many perspectives and layered with different levels of impact.
Hello. What time did this happen? We will be right there.
At TVC News, we follow the big and major news, gathering the facts, witnessing the outcome.
I am here live at the aftermath of the approval of the new national minimum wage.
Your TV station of the year, not just for breaking news, but for being first, fair, and accurate. TVC News.
Thanks for staying with us. To Health Matters now, the Vaccine Network for Disease Control is seeking collaboration with the media to amplify messages that will improve immunization process in the country. TVC News' Kemi Balogun reports.
In recent times, there has been an increase in the advocacy to improve immunization uptake and reduce the number of zero-dose children in the country. This meeting between journalists and the Vaccine Network for Disease Control is opening up the platform to collaborate in amplifying voices for enhanced immunization financing in order to ensure that children get vaccinated and the number of zero-dose children is reduced.
What we found out from this process, working and advocating at the national level and even at the state level, is the fact that this current administration is actually intentional in immunization financing. We can give it to them. And there is the desire to make zero dose, to reduce the number of zero dose children in Nigeria. Because without the money, without the vaccines, there will be no vaccine even to vaccinate the children. So we do not want any situation where there will be any form of what? Stock out.
If Nigeria can have a sustainable way of bringing out money out of our yearly budget, or any form of sustainable financing that would help this immunization procurement to be sustainable, then it will reduce our zero dose children and then enhance our economy, because less children dying means they will grow up, they will contribute to the economy, they will bring GDP, our GDP will become better, our economy will become better generally, right? So
VNDC is also seeking support from the media to enhance messages that will not only keep the advocacy going, but will urge the government to commit on the path of sustained financing.
We need to amplify our messages to ensure that no child is left behind, that children are vaccinated no matter where they are, because we have a lot of them in hard-to-reach areas.
Experts here say with regular immunization financing from government and partners, a vaccine shortage can be avoided before the second quarter of 2025. Kemi Balogun, TVC News, Abuja.
The Tabitha Abibola Foundation has called for improved policies that will cater for persons with disabilities, especially children. The foundation organized a Christmas party for children with special needs. TVC News senior reporter Theophilus Elama has more.
With the continuous call for inclusive and quality living for persons with disability, the Tabitha Abibola Foundation brought joy to the faces of these children at its Christmas party. The Lagos State government says its concern for the welfare of special needs children has propelled it to do more for them.
As a human, as a father, I mean, when you hear abandoned and disabled, you know, it sends shivers down your spine. So the least I can do as a father of all of the children is to turn up and encourage people like Tabitha and Bimbola to let them know, people like her know that we hear them as a government, we see them, and we are here to work with them to see how we can continue to give succor to, you know, our kids. And it's Christmas period.
Every of the time I've known her for years, she has always had the love of the vulnerable in her mind. And for someone like this, she needs a lot of support from people like us.
For the convener, this has been a dream come true, as she has always had the plan to do something for such children.
Want these less privileged children to have the same experience, want them to experience or enjoy, the fun that Christmas season brings. So we want them to also have, that opportunity to have fun, just like their other privileged counterparts in the rest of the world. That basically is the idea behind this. And this year I said to myself, I want to celebrate with special needs children.
I've seen Abimbola go through for these people. Bimbo can actually beg. Like the things she can't do for herself, the things that she will feel like, no, I can't beg somebody for something. But when it concerns humanity, when it concerns the NGO, she will hustle, she will beg just to make sure she puts smiles on their faces. And seeing this today, I was almost in tears.
The children had the opportunity to visit Santa's Grotto and also take part in the celebration of the season. Theophilus Elama, TVC News, Lagos.
Away from Lagos, members of the newly inaugurated officials of the Gongola People's Forum have been advised to work towards advancing the rights and autonomy of the 80 ethnic groups that make up Adamawa State. Senior reporter Awolabi Adenusi filed in this report.
The Gongola People's Forum's mandate is to protect the interests and core values of its members. The group is also to challenge what they describe as an imposed colonial legacy that undermines their identity and governance. Speaking at the group's inauguration in Yola, leaders of the group highlight the historical marginalization and exclusion of the Middle Belt region from critical decision-making processes in the country. The movement is championing the growing demand for a political structure that will respect the autonomy and aspiration of Middle Belt communities.
Why don't we have Equatie, Chamba, Bula, all this kind of nationality being represented equitably We're not saying equal, because equally is different from being equitable. At least let everybody have a share of recognition. And that is going to usher in a better Nigeria for all Nigerians.
This movement is not a flash in the pan. Tribal and religious sentiments can't kill it. Above all, divide and rule can't even moderate it, let alone subdue it.
The group leaders say they are determined to break free from what they see as suppression under the traditional systems.
GPF is not just one of the so-called socio-cultural organizations. It is a multinationalities institutional identity which had transformed into an unstoppable ideology to reassert its people's rights.
A lot of people misunderstand this ethnic nationalities movement, and they think it is directed against a certain group. No, that is a grave mistake. It's an attempt to ensure justice where this has been denied in the past.
Bongola People's Forum is not about religion. It's not about sectionalism. It's about bringing all the little small ethnic groups together so that we will identify ourselves.
The Gongola People's Forum, in collaboration with the Middle Belt Forum, are working towards addressing alleged marginalization of their members by reshaping the nation's discourse on inclusivity and regional autonomy.
Well, let's take you to Port Harcourt, where fire has razed makeshift buildings at Oakview Estate, Balajam, Woji Extension in Port Harcourt. Fire service personnel are currently at the scene battling the inferno. TVC News correspondent Uche Okoro is also on the scene, and he joins me now for more on this development. Uche, really sad development, several issues arising today. What more can you tell us about this fire?
Right now, just seconds ago, the fire service truck left the scene of this very unfortunate incident. Thankfully, no life was lost. Some residents of the area were able to salvage some of their property before the fire service personnel arrived. Initially, there were complaints that the fire service personnel arrived late. But upon their arrival, we got to know that they had battled similar fire outbreaks in 2 different locations before they arrived here. That's you can see this is the scene where the fire service personnel just left. So we can still see pockets of the fire of the blaze still on, but I think much of the danger has been taken care of by the fire service personnel. You can see right in front of you, there's the building that would have been affected if not for the communal efforts of residents of this location and the eventual arrival of the fire service personnel. You can see that building in front of you. Yeah, those are, you can see persons coming out of the building. They were able to, I gathered that they were able to prevent the fire from spreading to their building using using buckets of water they were fetching from within the residence. Though you can see the roof is affected, glasses are shattered, but apart from that, no other damage to the building. The only serious damage you can see here are the makeshift buildings here in this particular location. So that's the update. Fire service personnel, the truck just drove out of this location barely 2 minutes ago. So that's the update from here.
All right, Uche, you mentioned that there are makeshift buildings. Do we know the purpose of this building? Now, do we also know what may have started the fire?
They are residential. They are residential buildings. You know how it is. You find a place that is built up, a developed area where you have big story buildings, a fully developed area, estate, where you just have one empty plot of land. Normally, I don't know how what the situation is in the west, but over here in the south, and parts of the south, you would have this lone, unoccupied plots of land that are leased out to people who just build makeshift buildings using mostly aluminium roofing sheets and wood and all of that. So that's exactly what happens. If you look around you, it's a completely developed area with houses, story buildings on all sides. This is about the only unoccupied or only, I would say, the empty plot of land that has no official or major structure on it. So these are makeshift buildings that were rented out to the occupants, and they are residential buildings that were affected. And many of them were able to salvage a few of their property, but I think the majority of them lost a good number of their property there.
All right, thank you so much, Uche, for that update. I'm sure you'll bring us update when you have more. Correspondent Uche Okoro live for us in Port Harcourt, where a fire has just razed a makeshift building in Woji area. All right, let's turn attention to the Middle East, where the Israeli military has admitted that it failed to intercept a missile fired by Houthi rebels, which fell into Israel's capital, Tel Aviv. The military says the projectile launched from Yemen was identified after sirens went off in central Israel.
A spokesperson for Yemen's Houthis confirmed the attack, stating that the rebel group had hit a military target in the Jaffa area with a ballistic missile named Palestine II. The Houthi attack on Israel came after Israel's airstrikes on the Yemeni capital, Sana'a, and the port city of Hodeidah, which killed at least 9 persons on Thursday. Israel aimed at the Houthi rebels' ports, power plants, and oil factories, deploying 14 fighter jets. Israel's emergency medical service says at least 14 persons were mildly injured in the retaliatory attack by the Houthi rebels. The Israeli military also says a missile fired by the rebel group was intercepted. No fatalities were reported, but Israel's emergency services says it is treating 14 people in mild conditions after they were injured by glass shards. The Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, in a statement says the Houthi rebels are learning, and they will learn the hard way, that whosoever harms Israel pays a very heavy price for it. He also adds that after Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Assad regime in Syria, the Houthi rebels backed by Yemen are almost the remaining arm of Iran's, quote, axis of evil.
And that's TVC News at 4. For more updates on the stories we're monitoring, you can visit our website, www.tvcnews.tv. You can also follow us on our social media handles. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and on X at TVC News NG. On YouTube, we're live at TVC News Nigeria. Thanks for watching.
Hello, TVC Communications. How can I help?
What makes TVC the right choice for my business?
Excellent question, sir. Let me share some exciting facts with you.
Start your day on TVC Entertainment with Wake Up Nigeria, a family and lifestyle show. Your view empowers women globally.
It's your view, let it count.
Entertainment Splash delivers the hottest celebrity trends. On TVC News, we keep you informed with breaking news and in-depth analysis of events shaping the world.
I will continue to speak the truth.
TVC News at 7 and TVC News at 10 p.m. delivers the most important stories of the day. Max FM, your hit music radio station, captivates listeners daily across Lagos and Abuja, making every commute more enjoyable. Adaba 88.9 FM is not left out, as it is the voice of Southwest. And on TVC Digital, we reach to million viewers daily. All together, pulls in over 17 million viewers daily. Contact us on 0707-272-8338 or marketing@tvccommunications.tv. Partner with TVC Communications today. Let's grow together.
Information is power, information is security, information is knowledge. On Labor Lens, we believe that working people around the world have real questions of their own. They want to know how the world of work operates, what it means to the employer of labor, how policies affect workers in the workplace. On Labor Lens, I ensure we engage effectively the organized labor, organized private sector, and government to get out of them information workers are in need of. I am Sharon Ijason, asking questions that make you get sense of the workplace.
The task of the leaders is to get their people from where they are to where they've not been. How do we hold our leaders accountable in the business of lawmaking and representation?
The mandate that you have given to us is not abused in any way.
The primary purpose of government is to ensure the welfare and security of the Nigerian people.
The constituency project had noble intentions, and they still remain the most veritable tool.
Do they really know their representatives at the states and national assemblies?
Our people, they don't have water, they are suffering. They only drink water from where they fall.
For the current one, the 10th assembly, I don't really know who is in charge.
From the mountaintops to the deepest valleys, we're ready to go an extra mile just to show Nigerian your constituency project. Know your representative with Maria, bridging the visible gap.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking it.
Last month, UN Climate Conference in Baku, Azerbaijan, concluded with an agreement calling on developed countries to deliver at least $300 billion per year to developing countries by 2035 to drastically reduce greenhouse gas emissions and protect lives and livelihoods from the worsening impacts of climate change. Well, still in this week's edition of Green Angle, we examine the outcome of the summit and what the future holds for developing countries. Welcome. I am Esther Mopariola.
"79 sea turtles, including hawksbill, loggerhead, and green turtles, were recently released back into the ocean after spending 18 months at the Marine Wildlife Center. These turtles were part of a conservation initiative led by Copramag El Rodadero Aquarium and the Santa Marta Chamber of Commerce. Local fishermen cared for the eggs until they hatched, while indigenous communities and children actively participated, creating awareness about protecting marine life. Biologists have also equipped the turtles with tracking devices to monitor their journey and ensure they thrive in their natural habitat. Spain's Constitution Day holiday has been overshadowed by the season's first major winter storm, bringing heavy snow and travel disruptions across several regions. 5 communities are under extreme weather alerts as the winter storm hits, dumping up to 40 centimeters of snow. Some major highways have faced closures and delays due to snow and flooding, leaving many tourists in Navarra scrambling to adjust their travel plans. While the snowfall has caused significant disruption, it has also brought moments of joy for residents and visitors alike, enjoying the beauty of a true winter wonderland. The risk of flooding has shifted to Estella and southern Navarra, with authorities closely monitoring the situation. In Logroño, the city council is keeping a close eye on the Ebro River, which is expected to reach over 1,000 cubic meters per second in the coming hours. Residents in flood-prone areas have been urged to stay away for their safety as emergency teams remain on high alert.
Now, Lagos State is stepping up its fight against climate change, and at the recently concluded COP29 summit, state officials unveiled plans to tackle the growing impacts of climate change in the coastal city. They announced new investments to tackle their climate action goals and called on everyone to play a part in creating a healthier environment.
Lagos state officials at the recently concluded COP29 summit outlined key strategies to tackle climate impacts in the coastal city. They announced securing investments to support the state's climate action plans and urged residents to contribute to creating a livable environment for all.
Our major take-home from here is automation. We're looking to leverage on technology to not just help us identify where trees should be planted, but also how to keep track of their survival, because it's one thing to plant trees, it's another thing to ensure that they survive. So we're going to be leveraging a lot on GIS and monitoring, and it also helps us to be transparent. So even when we're asking people to support our agency with our tree planting efforts, they're able to see that truly the funds that they've donated to us, that they've given us for the planting efforts, are actually used and utilized.
So the first thing is clearly, how do we identify what is required? Do we have enough fund in the kitty for us to be able to deal with this? Do we have enough expertise for us to be able to deal with these concerns? Do we even have enough technology to be able to deal with these concerns? So when you look at all this in an helicopter view, it gives you an idea of how to taxonomize your intention and then pick them on a scalable basis.
We are here to seek for collaborators, we are here to seek for partnership. And then we know our products, we know what we offer. We know that any investor that comes to Lagos is going to get a return on their investment.
General Manager of the Lagos State Environmental Protection Agency, Babatunde Ajayi, also shared insights on the state's interests in carbon markets, a controversial approach criticized by some activists as a false solution to the climate crisis. However, Ajayi dismissed these concerns, emphasizing the significant benefits carbon market trading could offer compared to its perceived drawbacks.
The argument against carbon markets really, for me, it doesn't hold water. I'll tell you why. You need to have an industrial boom in a country that has to develop, right? You need manufacturing. Manufacturing will not happen on solar panels. You will mitigate the emission impact of manufacturing. While you are mitigating this, you must make them pay to pollute, right? So in Lagos, for instance, our law has polluter pay principle.
Consulting firm. This partnership aims to unlock resources and investments worth 1 trillion naira, supporting the state's climate action goals. The deal is also expected to enhance the state's carbon registry and foster global partnerships in carbon market activities.
Niger State is endowed with green assets. We have invested so much in the green assets, and so we need the guides to be able to benefit from those assets.
As at today's count, Japan and Singapore and also Switzerland have signed close to 50 MOUs with different African countries. So why wouldn't they come to Nigeria? Why wouldn't we open up our spaces for them? But we can only optimize and leverage in this market when we have
of land in the Niger Delta, and it's a source of worry. It's a source of worry because I expect that the government should have made proactive actions or proactive methods or activities to ensure that we reduce the impact of this sea level rise. It comes all the way from Lagos down to Calabar, and it's not just in Nigeria, it's about the West African coast. So it's important that the governments of countries, government of Nigeria, and other countries in the world look at the issues around climate change and its impact on the people, because as we speak, communities are being washed away, livelihoods are being lost, and poverty is on the increase on a daily basis.
People who are forced to evict
are forcefully evicted by these issues now move to higher grounds where resources are also scarce. So that breeds a lot of conflict because they now have to struggle for the little available resources in those places. And you see it breeds a lot of tension, and also the issues of boundary disputes, because as you begin to move because of displacement, you get into other people's territory and is breeding a hole. So climate change is not only impacting the lands, it is also eroding cultures.
Green Angle returns in just a moment. Stay with us. Next, we had a chat with the special advisor to the Lagos State Governor on climate change and circular economy, and she shared perspectives on the outcomes of the COP29 summit and how it aligns with the state's
banking partners, Access Bank. They also had seen the vision before we left, and they were, very, very keen on working with us. For instance, it is part of the policy, even when Biden came into office. And one of the things that he mentioned within his plans, within his framework for sustainability, was a clean cooking stove that should, that was to be run in Africa, right? Clean cooking stove is almost like a silver bullet, because if we are able to establish clean cooking stove, we will address the issue of deforestation. We will address the issue of health that is declining on a daily basis. We will improve the quality of life of our communities. We can also, to a great extent, open up the space for business opportunity, for job employment within that space. As a government is to be able to provide that enabling infrastructure for the connectivity between people, community, and the private sector. It is from the private sector that we can get the funding, and that pipeline would have to go into the MSMEs, the nano and the micro MSMEs. And these micro and nano MSMEs are the ones that interface directly with the communities. When they start to, interrogate, or when they start to interact, that exchange creates a burgeoning where the ones that are, scaling are able to see that there are business opportunities. When businesses are able to expand their operations, people get more jobs onto their table. They get food onto their plates. If they are gainfully employed, they develop in skills. We need to drive the essence. We need to position businesses in the communities. It is the businesses that will open up the gateway. They will open up the pipeline. They will drive the commerce. And in driving the commerce, the data can also be captured because they are knowledgeable about that. And it is that data that they then use.
And that's about it on this week's edition of Green Angle. Until I come your way next time, remember, together we can build a sustainable world. I am Esther Makwariola. Bye.
Let's make this December a memorable one as we take you back in time. Your Niger production and DJ Jimmy Jat Incorporated brings to you Rewind, a flashback concert.
And the music where we play, we do it.
Performing live, Cool DJ Jimmy Jat, 2Face, Premium 1 million naira, VIP 25k and regular 7k. For tickets, visit yournigerproduction.com. For more information, please call Your on 0903-000-0171. This event is supported by Foreshore Waters, Tupaz, LSDPC, Ocean Glory, and Nairise. Rewind, a flashback concert. It's a Your Niger production. Media partner, TVC.
You're watching Beyond 100 Days with Nifemi Oguntoye. President Tinubu, since he assumed office,
they are on our way to progress.
6 out of the 8 APC federal lawmakers have a movement structure that's going to take back our party in Enugu State. Because this one I'm saying is just by moonlight. It's not working.
So I'm wondering what you think, or who you think can stop him now.
He doesn't own the party.
One of the causes of inflation is because people cannot go to the farm.
The government still needs to do more so that people can eat.
I believe we're clamoring for is more responsible use of social media, not that people just go in there and think that they can say anything to anybody.
Tinubu is not one who believes in the simple. I mean, he wants to get it done, he will face it, he will get it done.
Yes, the president, from inception of his administration, focused squarely on diversifying the economy and driving in investments to, cushion the effect of.
No better friend and partner than Nigeria.
Step in and feel the frenzy like never before. Join me every weekday for an hour of fact-finding interviews where questions cut to the core.
How would you say your administration has fared in these sectors?
I will dig in to get to the heart of issues, from local politics to global insight. Join me as I unearth the power plays, jaw-dropping revelations and the unfiltered truth. This isn't just politics, it's unraveling the stories that matter. Brace yourself for Politics Tonight every weekday at 8 p.m., where every decision echoes along the corridors of our lives. Politics Tonight, only on TVC News.
Kano State, the commercial capital of northern Nigeria, is on the march to progress and innovation with Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf in the saddle. Be part of the vision that is transforming Kano State into a hub for economic growth and opportunities. Hear directly from the governor as he engages the people, listens to their concerns and shares his vision for a brighter future. Explore the developmental projects and backs at 9:30 p.m. only on TVC News.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Welcome to Warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brand, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of your view are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
Ignorance is the mother of personal destruction, a voluntary misfortune, and it is worse when you are ignorant of your ignorance.
You and Your Health with Dr. Richard Okoye is brought to you by Dr. Civil Life Foundation as he uncovers the mystery behind most deadly diseases, their causes, prevention, and latest treatment. Sending your comment and health-related questions. Together, let's liberate Africa from health ignorance.
Hear this, you are ignorantly awaiting the arrival of your wife's menopause. If you have low sperm count and ignore it.
Join Dr. Richard Okoye every Sunday by 3:30 p.m. At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking it.
Hello, thanks for joining us. This is TVC News at 5. We begin in the nation's capital, where the police have confirmed the death of 10 persons following a stampede at a church in Abuja. The incident happened at about 6:30 a.m. this morning, when people gathered for the distribution of food items to vulnerable and elderly individuals. 8 other persons sustained injuries in the incident. The FCT Police Command is calling for stricter adherence to event notification guidelines
which means that all organizations, religious groups, and individuals must notify the police in advance before hosting public events. A similar incident occurred in Anambra State, where many persons have died in Okija, Ihiala local government area. TVC News gathered that the victims and many others were at the venue to receive palliatives, resulting in a stampede. Lawmaker representing Ihiala Constituency 2 in the State House of Assembly, Golden Ilo, confirmed the unfortunate incident. He also mentioned that the organizers' aim was to assist his people with food items for the Yuletide. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu cancelled all his official events in Lagos State today to honor victims of stampede in Abuja and Okija, Anambra State. President Tinubu was scheduled to watch the boat parade and other activities of the boat regatta from the waterfront of the Queen's Driver residence in Ikoyi. President Tinubu wants states and relevant authorities to enforce strict crowd control measures immediately. He described the events as very disturbing, emphasizing that local and state authorities should no longer tolerate operational lapses by organizations and corporate bodies involved in charitable and humanitarian activities. And now to Oyo State, where a devastating fire has razed a spare parts market in Agodi Gate 1, destroying goods worth millions of naira. An eyewitness confirmed to TVC News that the inferno started around 12 a.m. and has left traders and residents in a state of shock and despair. According to him, the fire service arrived at the scene around 4 a.m., several hours after the fire had started. The cause of the fire is yet to be ascertained, but it is believed to have started from one of the shops in the market. The destruction caused by the fire is estimated to be in millions of naira, with many traders losing their livelihoods. The market, which is one of the largest spare parts markets in Nigeria, is a major hub for traders and mechanics. And now, two other stories. For decades, Cross River State has struggled with deteriorating road infrastructure, a challenge that crippled connectivity, stifled economic growth, and frustrated residents and businesses. In this report, Tina Kweke takes a look at the state of roads before Governor Basi Otu assumed office and the progress made so far.
Before Governor Basi Otu's administration, road network across Cross River's 3 senatorial districts were in disrepair, isolating communities and crippling economic activities. In the southern region, roads connecting Calabar to adjoining communities were riddled with potholes, causing frequent accidents and hampering movement. Many areas were completely cut off during the rainy season.
I really appeal with the state government to come and fix it as soon as possible, because it's not easy for people to cross this place, because someone can even fall inside.
Today, the state capital is a hub of activity, with construction work ongoing across key urban roads. Governor Tu has launched immediate intervention to restore neglected roads, prioritizing better drainage system to prevent flooding.
Our concentration majorly has been to open up the main arteries that will lead to either where we have products that are quite difficult or adding too much in terms of transportation costs